Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Ukulele Underground Podcast. My name is Aldrine Guerrero. Joining me are Mr. Aaron, the voice, Nakamura. Say what's up, Aaron.
What's up?
And Mr. Kahai, the legend, Fergan. Say what's up, Kahai.
What's up?
Gentlemen, we are here. We are going to be talking about some stuff. This is the Ukulele Underground Podcast where we talk about ukulele. You guys give us your cues. We give you some O's. That means if you have questions, we have some opinions on those questions. Because, sometimes there's no definite answer to some stuff, right, Kahai?
Yep.
So we give O's, we get opinions, and those opinions are based off of our own experiences collectively. We have decades of ukulele experiences, and we'd like to, to kind of share them with you folks and see if we can help out in any way. We are ukulele educators. We want to make sure that everyone is learning how to play the ukulele properly, or is, or if there's any questions or anything that people might get stuck with, excuse me, if we could get, oh, I breathed in and something went like a fly went in my mouth or something. Sorry. I'm just no fly. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. But yeah, if there's any kind of questions that you guys might want answered, we have O's to that. So we're like, okay, well, what kind of strings you use? So it's not necessarily, I mean, I guess there's an answer what kind of strings I use, but for the most part, it's my opinion. My opinion is that these strings are the best for me. That's kind of what we mean, right, Kahai?
Yeah. Sorry. I was just talking about we have new waiting music, and we had a new intro.
Yeah.
So the new intro came from Chris Lanzon, and then the waiting music came from Chris and Sue. Yep.
Oof. Yeah. So the people are like,
we got a bunch of entries.
I just want to address, the people who are listening, they're like, did he really swallow fly? I didn't. I was just joking and just kind of wanted to
and then
show
he
you guys that
swallowed
we
a
are.
spider to swallow the fly.
Yeah, just to make sure it got it, know. Yeah, just make sure you guys know that I'm just kidding. I just want to I just want to show you folks that it is live. That anything can happen live, right, Kahai?
Yep. Yeah.
Anything. And this is not like one of those. All right, I coughed. So can we roll that again? Can we do that again, Kahai? Nope. No redos.
Yeah.
That's how good this podcast is, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
You get one take, 1 hour to say all that we gotta say.
Yeah.
And then that's it. There's no second take. We're not here for 5 hours doing 50 takes, right, Kahai?
Yeah. We'll see how today goes. I'm running on 4 hours of sleep. So
really? Are you okay? Are you okay with something you want to talk about?
I stayed up to get the intro done. So that's why.
I thought you had some weird Easter epiphany. You're like, oh man, he really did come out of that cave, out of that boulder, move the boulder aside and came out of that cave. I thought that kept you up. You're like, oh, how did he do that? I saw him. I saw him go. I saw him be in that cross and stuff. And then now he's out. It's Easter, and I'm looking for that bunny.
Nope. Stayed up late, cutting out Tetris shapes out of an ukulele. and
we appreciate it. How about a round of applause, everyone? Kahai with the brand new intro. Amazing. Kept it with that Game Boy theme. Oh, it's lovely. Mm-hmm. Lovely. And thank you for all the lovely music. Chris and Sue providing the waiting, the hold music, for people that are waiting to get into the podcast. And of course, Chris Lanzon for the intro music. We got tons of intros now, right, Kai?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna use some more in the
future. Yeah. Thank you so much to everybody who provided us with any kind of music. You guys are the best, and we're going to reward one of you people who sent us something for that, right? Just one of the random people, right, Kahai? Or do you have your favorite? You can say it.
No.
We love everybody.
I don't have a favorite, but you know who you are. No.
They are. You know who you are. No, it's fun. So what we do here in the podcast is we answer any and all of your questions. You have a question for me, I'll give you my 2 cents, and the other guys will give their 2 cents. We'll come up with the best 6-cent answer just for you. So, gentlemen, what do you guys want to talk about?
Yeah, Aaron mentioned that on Wednesday, Kid came to your show, and so Aaron can tell the story at least.
Okay.
Yeah. So on Wednesday when we played our gig, our regular gig at Oasis, there was a guy who came up. He said that he had been playing ukulele for just 4
4
days
days,
or
yeah, 4
something like
days.
that. Yeah, just picked up an ukulele. But I think he asked you like, do you know any SpongeBob songs?
Yeah, he wanted to play something street rag or some kind of ragtime thing like that. It was featured on SpongeBob.
Yeah, but then he also asked you like, can you do some tapping?
Yeah,
you know,
and asked me to do some tapping.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. So like that's well, I was thinking about that where like tapping is one of those sort of flashy party trick kind of things that people are amazed at and sort of want to do. So yeah, well, that kind of
we wanted to challenge you.
Yeah.
Like if so, this scenario is like a kid comes up to you.
Okay.
Is like, I have no prior experience with ukulele.
Yeah.
And I don't want to learn anything else, but just show me like a tapping riff that I can play to like impress other people or I can do. And how like, you know, it's like if you guys are at a show or something and somebody asks you to do this and you're like, okay, I only have so much time. So I'm going to try and do this as fast as possible without like going too deep into the weeds of like, here are the notes of this. You're like, I'm
music
just
theory or anything. Like they don't care. Like
like if you try to explain like, oh, okay, so what you want to do is like break it down into these notes are used for this chord. They're gonna be like, no, just show me exactly what to do.
How to do some tapping.
How to do some tapping.
I wanna pull it out to like wow people when I'm at a party or something. Yeah,
And then they don't know anything else. But like that's fine for them.
Okay. So, the just basic, like some kind of cool tapping thing that they can show their friends.
Yeah, a riff.
All right. Little tapping riff. Okay. So, this is actually how Jake kind of introduced tapping to me and kind of showed me how to do tapping on the ukulele. He's the guy who showed me how. Okay. Now, he introduced it to me, and I'm not gonna do it the same way to a kid, but I'll just kind of explain my thought process here. He introduced it to me like, okay, we'll just pick the 3 notes that would build the chord, and then you would just tap that, and then that's tapping. You're just tapping that, and you know. And he said that, of course, it doesn't have to be those 3 notes. Much like if you play C, the 3 notes are C, E, G, right? C, E, E, G. You can always add like an F to the C.
No music theory.
I know. I'm just that's not
just background.
I'm just the background. So this is before I do the explanation.
We wanna do it like a speed run. So like starting now.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, the kid is here already.
Hey, sorry, kid. Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you with the music theory. Sorry, come back here. We'll learn some SpongeBob.
And then afterwards you can explain like why you actually want to do that. But just go straight.
Got it. I'll just say, grab the ukulele. Okay, take your left hand, grab the neck with the pillow that we talk about here at Ukulele on the Ground. Grab it like this, okay? And make sure that you're shaking hands with the person in front of you. Put it like that, all right? Put it not so far over here with the headstock. Don't worry about it. We're going to put it so that your middle finger or pointer finger, whichever one which are you better with, your pointer or your middle finger? Let's just say your middle finger. Your middle finger, okay? I want you to take the fingertip and just hit that 5th fret A string as hard as you can. Just like that, okay? Just make like a hammer and just hammer down on that fret. Okay? And then now you hammer down on that fret, just pull off like this. Now with this hand, take these 4 fingers that isn't your pointer finger, and you're gonna hold the neck of the ukulele on the other side. You're gonna do that with your pointer finger. Okay? You're gonna make it like you're gonna curl it so that the fingertip is hitting the 8th fret of that same string, and do the same thing. So, and then you're gonna do the same thing that you did with that. So you're gonna tap and you're gonna pull. Same thing on the other side. Tap, pull. And he's going to go tap, pull on the left, tap, pull on the right. And faster. That's tapping, baby.
Okay.
Well, how long was that?
I Oh yeah, it was like 11. We started at 12:11. I'll say you started your explanation
Yeah.
at 12:11 and it's 12:13, so
Okay.
like 2 minutes. What if they're okay? So like you kind of mentioned like certain frets too.
Yeah.
What if they're like, I like brand new beginner. I don't know what frets are. Like I don't know the fret numbers. So like, how would you explain like where even to put?
If
the
a kid
fingers?
came up to me after the show, that one, like you know, I would just
point it
like
out.
hold the ukulele. Okay, hold it like this. I would just kind of get their hand to do it. Okay, now hit that one.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I would do it. Now with your right hand, hit that one. So.
Yeah.
So this one, left, right, left, right. Left.
And now go irritate your
Now
parents.
go irritate your parents. That's it, really. Because and then if I had time to explain, you'd just be like, well, you're pulling it so that you can hear it. You don't actually like hear that one too much unless you work on hearing that first note. But really, all they're gonna hear is that. And then eventually you're gonna hear those notes as you do it. You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Bam!
Yeah.
Cleared it. Minute half.
Somebody.
Next person. Okay, kid, all right, move aside. Somebody else wants to talk to me. I have other fans to talk to, kid, all right?
Because like we also me and Aaron were also talking about this, and somebody just made a comment, like a great comment pointing this out. They said you've been thunderstruck, and it's like yeah, exactly that, right?
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
it's like
And I was telling Kahai that on Friday, someone came up to us and they were like, "Can you play Thunderstruck?"
Yeah.
And it was obvious that you were like, you don't actually want to
wanna
hear,
hear
that
Thunderstruck,
song.
yeah.
You just want me to do the thing that is
the one part.
recognizable. That one part that is recognizable. Yeah.
and it's like once you start getting into like the actual like verse or chorus of the song, they're like, okay, no, that's enough,
Yeah.
right?
It's
That's
like
why-
when people
Yeah.
yell out "Freebird." It's like
Yeah.
you don't actually want to
You
hear.
don't actually want to hear 10 minutes song.
Yeah.
or
That
or
jam.
if you talk to somebody, right, and then they play like Smoke on the Water or Iron Man, and it's like, okay, do you know the rest of the song? And they're like, no, I don't know. I only know
There's
that
a rest of the song.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pass
yeah.
smoke on the water.
Yeah.
Past that, no, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh. Past
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
not really,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. So we were kind of like, me and Aaron were talking about it, and we said like, these things are like viral, and people like the big
Yeah.
audience know about these things. But for a musician, it's actually like not that gratifying to actually like just learn just the riff, right? Because like, what are you gonna do with the riff? Like, it is just
Yeah.
a party trick.
Yeah.
But if somebody asks you like, "Oh, that's cool. Can you play like a full song now?" It's like, no.
Yeah, but sometimes party tricks are fun because, like,
Yeah.
I did the elementary school up the road. I did St. Catherine's school, and I was teaching ukulele there, and I needed something to grasp like the little kids' attention, like
Yeah.
the kindergarten to second grade kind of kids and stuff. And I started playing.
Yeah.
They're like, Bluey. And then I got him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like,
Yeah.
okay, cool. We're ready to learn. This guy's cool. This guy passes. Guy passes the cool test. So it sometimes, party tricks. So if like some guitar guy, what if there's a guitar guy that comes to a show, it's like, I'll play Thunderstruck. And then you play the part that they know, they're like, oh, I guess you can. You know?
yeah.
But I actually can't. And neither can he, I'm sure.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. I don't actually know the whole song.
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter because you wouldn't know it either.
Yeah.
You wouldn't recognize it either.
Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah. So is like you're kind of you're going into like why Jake was explaining like music theory to you
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
and
So-
that's kind of like the extra that as a musician, that's what you learn, and that's kind of like more gratifying
It
than
makes it
just
Yeah.
applicable to
Well,
other situations.
Yeah, I wanted to explain so that you'd see my approach to it, and then I was gonna start my explanation as if I was talking to the kid. But if the kid's here already, then
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my approach was like, okay, and I wanted to share like how I was taught, and that's exactly it. He just said that like, okay, well, 0 is always going to be A, 5 is going to be D minor, that 8 is going to be F. So you're basically, so 5 is D and then 8 is F. You're just like spelling out that D minor chord. So he's just like, okay, that makes a D minor chord, right? So if you play,
Yeah. You're just alternating between the notes of a D minor chord.
until it kind of like, sounds like a tapping thing. And then he said that like if you move your hand somewhere, so I was explaining like a C chord, so C, E, G, you just have like C, E, G. You can do that, and much like, with that, you can add like an F, you can add a G, you can add a D in there if you want to. You can just kind of like move those notes. So there's the F, maybe D. So here's a C, G, here it is with an F, here with the D, back to C. And that's how it was explained to me. So like, I was gonna say that if I'm gonna pick something, I would pick something with an open, so maybe an A chord, like A major chord, a D minor chord. I'm gonna go with the minor because it sounds more epic, than like a happy A major chord. So that's why I went with 5 and 8 to kind of get that minor tapping, like epic sound.
Yeah.
Like that's what they're looking for,
Yeah.
You want to sound like they're
like-
shredding. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like metal band,
Yeah,
kind of hair band kind of stuff.
Yeah. I guess, and it's like now me and Aaron were kind of talking about how like with Instagram and TikTok,
Yeah.
I think there are a lot more musicians like, because that's all that the time allows them to post, right? Is like those very quick bits.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people see, and they think like, oh, that
Let's
is
do this.
and then also like it's fine to get into music because of that, but
Yeah.
it feels like they think like, oh, that is the best, that's like the key of learning music, or like that's the best part of learning music. And I don't know, once you kind of get into it, I feel like it's not actually, it's like eating a really nice looking piece of candy, but then it's like, this is just sugar.
There's no substance
Oh,
to.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you put in the sugar.
But
it's so
but
good.
yeah, but we were like relating it to a bunch of other things too. Like that's what hooks people in.
Yeah,
So
of
it's not
course.
necessarily a bad thing.
No. That's
But-
what makes people want to learn, want to
Yeah.
play, want to try it because they're like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I think I could do that.
Yeah, it's like your cardistry. Like,
Yeah.
oh man, I want to be able to do that flashy thing.
Look at it. And it's like, oh, it's actually kind of difficult.
yeah. And then
Or-
once you like, in order to make that smooth, you got to know
Yeah.
your fundamentals, and then that's what makes it good.
Or we talked about like how, like me and you have talked where it's like in magic and cardistry, there's people they call move monkeys.
Yeah.
And they only know how to do like the move to do a trick or to do like, a color
There's
change
no
or something.
substance, yeah. Like how
But-
do you use it on an actual like performance?
Yeah.
A routine.
Yeah,
Can you
routine.
actually do
Yeah,
like a
yeah,
full
yeah.
thing? But they can't, right? Because it's like, oh, I only know like
The
these
move.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool that you can do a anti-pharaoh. Is it called anti-pharaoh? It's cool that you can do an anti-pharaoh, but what is that for? Like who's that's
It's just
serving?
for yourself.
yeah.
Look at how impressive this is. Ah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Because like
cool.
for
It's
the
fun.
people who don't know, pharaoh is like is the perfect shuffle, right? It goes like one
Yeah.
after the other. So if there's 52 cards, it take 26, and it would like line up like this,
Perfectly.
perfectly. That's
Yeah.
a pharaoh. An anti-pharaoh is taking a deck of 52 cards and doing the shuffle, and I can't even do it, but like it
You split it.
basically you split it in exactly
Yeah.
in half, and so it's very difficult. But like if you can do that, really cool. But it's like, what is the
Yeah.
what is the function?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's only like very few people in the world. I mean, it became like a trending
Yeah.
trick that people
Yeah.
learn to do. But I would say that there's only like very few people in the world who actually incorporate it into
Yeah.
their whole routine.
A
or
routine.
anything.
I can see it using cardistry because guys like Zach
Yeah.
Mueller has done stuff with it. That's kind of cool, I guess. But other than that, it's mostly for cardistry.
No, or I don't. You can use it for a triumph.
Yeah, I guess so.
That it's very like it's a triumph. Yeah, it's too technical into magic. I'm not gonna. I don't want to give it away.
Nerd magic talk time. We should have
Transitioning to a different podcast.
You should have a thing where it says nerd alert like on the screen, like that we're gonna talk about nerdy things for the next 5 minutes, just so it lets people know to like skip 5 minutes ahead.
Yeah. We'll be back to ukulele at some point.
Yeah. So, but like for the people who. And even like tapping and stuff, right? Like sometimes those things that are really flashy and that people are really impressed by, like kind of how you showed just now, they're actually like something that to play just to get the basic mechanic of it actually doesn't take that long, right? It's pretty quickly to actually get it. And
It's just that.
And the fact that it is like the mechanic to actually play it is simple is probably why you see so many people do it and people like use it as like a flashy thing of like, oh, that's amazing, right? But then actually applying it to like a song and using it in a nice way is where it takes more skill.
Like an appropriate way.
Yeah. Because with tapping, unless you're doing a tapping solo, like where would you put it? And then, you got a song like Dragon, you're like, oh, that's like in context,
Yeah.
So when he came up with that, I was just like, you son of a... like, what? This thing that I thought had no application, you applied it somehow, like really well. So I was like, that's it. I give up. I'm going to go back home and I'm going to break all my ukes now. I remember sitting in Jake's car. I was like, oh, and so we recorded this week on this stuff. And I heard Dragon for the first time. I'm like, what? I mean, it's taking me everything to not like reach over and strangle you right now just because, oh, you're lucky. You're Jake Shimabukuro.
Yeah.
What? This isn't eruption. What did you do? Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. And I'm like, did you like overdub that? It's like, no, it goes like this. And he showed me. I'm like, no. It's like I didn't need to see it. Now I saw it. Now I know it's possible.
Yeah.
Now it's gonna
I'll
bum
be
me
awake
out
for the next week.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, how did he do that? I want to wake up like at 2 a.m. Like, Dragon.
That's interesting though, I guess, right? Because I think people can like have no music experience and appreciate Dragon, right?
Yeah.
But then there is like something where sometimes more skilled music is like harder to appreciate just from like a simple glance, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, that person, it doesn't sound ear catching or like eye catching or it doesn't look flashy.
Right.
But what that person is doing is taking a lot of skill.
Yeah, so when you listen to it, you're like, oh, yeah, that's a good song, but as an ukulele player, knowing what he's doing with an acoustic instrument, it's just like that. Because you would see that like on an electric guitar or electric ukulele even, but doing it like with so much volume on an acoustic ukulele, I was just like, what is this wizardry? This is some like, did you be honest with you sell your soul? Come on, you can tell me.
I think but I think the genius of Dragon, right, is that he does tapping, which is like typically associated with like aggressive like hard songs, and when he does it in Dragon, it's like sounds so like
majestic. He says it's kind of like, imagine like the dragon's tail like whipping, because it's like that if you've ever seen like a Chinese New Year performance and and there's like the dragon dance with the lion dance and stuff like that. He was saying that like, when the dragon moves, it has that like kind of sway like to it. And I'm like, you son of a...
I think even when he...
Artiste.
Yeah, my gosh.
Like when you hear it too, when you hear somebody do tapping, typically like if somebody's just learned tapping, they'll just like play it as hard as they can, right?
Yeah.
But when you hear it in Dragon, there's like dynamics to it where like it gets quieter, louder.
See if I can do it. So. So you hear that like that sway. So cool, so good. When I heard it, I'm like, that's like an overdub. Like guaranteed, he played the chord and That's what I
Yeah,
thought
yeah.
was happening. And then like when he did the chord and did the thing, I'm like, because it's I guess it's not a big deal now, you know, like
yeah.
but in the conception of it, like, oh my gosh, it was like so revolutionary ukulele wise. And like, what is this?
Because that was before
madness?
like
Yeah.
Andy McKee, right?
Yeah.
That was-
with like
yeah.
drifting, like when he came out with drifting, and then like, oh, what is this thing that he's doing with the whatever?
Yeah.
And then I remember like August Rush, the movie that came out, and like this whole thing about tapping, you know, and doing these sounds.
And still, that was on
percussions.
acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even ukulele.
A
it was-
tiny instrument that like
Yeah.
that barely has any sustain, you know, like
somehow he was
it's
able to
insane.
craft
I was sitting in that car like contemplating my own life of like, what am I doing with, you know, like this is the level of like the best in the world. Like I don't know if I can reach like that or even get close to that kind of like creativity level, you know.
Do you think anybody has like done something with tapping on ukulele since then that like kind of reaches that, like, or you would recognize as like this isn't just using tapping for the sake of tapping. This is like elevating the song with the technique.
Yo, I saw a dude, I think it was on Instagram or TikTok, like took like a toy uke, like, you know, ones that's like this scale.
Yeah.
And he was doing like what is that Polyphia song with like is it Playing God? What is it called?
Oh yeah,
Like
that's one of the
yeah.
ones.
And then he was doing it on this tiny. I'm like, what am I? And so I still like, you know, contemplate what I'm doing with my life now. You know, I'm like, am I teaching the right things? Because I'm not teaching that, you know. But it was sick. I was like, that is why. What kind of time do you have in your hands? You know, like I don't even care if it's fake. Like it looks convincing enough. You know.
Yeah, I hate to bring up your other son, you know? But I would argue that Sammy also, like, he doesn't just use like artificial harmonics to just be like, I'm gonna put artificial harmonics over everything.
Yeah.
He actually knows how to use it in a way that's
tastefully.
like, and elevates the song, right?
Yeah.
So, but I'm still, you know, I'm still the better son.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I did ask you to play One Piece card game with me, but you're like, no, Dad, I don't want to. I was like, all right, okay. You know?
I was grabbing everything to get ready for today. Okay,
We'll play
That's what
together
happened.
then. Cats in the cradle with the silver spoon. Little boy with the man in the moon. We'll
Is
play
it like-
together then. Dad.
One Piece card game together then.
when are you meeting up with Sammy, or when are you gonna see him?
At the LA Uke Fest in September.
So am I gonna just get a picture of the two of you holding your decks? And be like,
Our two decks. So, say, we'll play together then, Sammy.
I gotta. If that happens,
Now we gotta do that song for like a play along or something.
Yeah, I guess so.
If that happens, I'm gonna go through my rebellious phase. And I don't like you anymore, Dad.
Kai comes in with a mohawk.
Yeah.
Just all you little goffed out.
Yeah.
What's going
I'm
on?
gonna-
Where'd I go wrong?
I'm gonna. You just don't understand. I have so much emotion.
So much
Dad.
darkness in me. In my
Very
soul, Dad.
Austin Powers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hang out with Mike and Kyle. They understand me. They're the cool guys. You're not cool.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it was a weird like turning point for me being in that car and being shown something that high level. That's like, am I gonna ever do something of that significance to the ukulele as what I just witnessed? What I just like, you know? It was insane. Like I just, you know, and he was super proud of it. Like Jake would never like kind of show, but like it was cool being in that car and kind of him showing me like the tracks, and he's like, oh, it's this, and I'm like, what is that? What are you doing there? And then him grabbing the uke and showing me, and I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I'm sure it's like helpful to be able to show it to someone who could appreciate what he was actually doing too. So
Still, man, like what do you do on your? Do you have free time? Like, because I feel like this is your free time.
That's
He
pretty.
just does what he likes
Yeah.
all the time.
Do you like you said that you thought that it had to have been like an overdub, right, of him doing something else? Do you ever think of things to do like that where you think like I can do this on 2 ukuleles, but how do I make it where I can actually perform this live? Or
Yeah, I
how
mean,
do
I guess I've done stuff like
transition?
that, but like, cause when I thought of it, and then I said it out loud, because I'm like, I'm not scared to be like, yo, did you do that? Like,
Uh-huh.
real? Did you, like, what is happening there? Because I thought of it for a second. I'm like, that's got to be an overdub, and like he's like, no, this is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And I'm like. So he squashed that thought. Like, he's like, even before you think think this is an overdub, here's exactly what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh, so you're just that good, I guess. So you just
Well,
oh, okay.
He wants to be able to play it live too, right?
I guess,
So-
but like there's a guitar that can go.
Yeah.
And he does
That's all
play,
you needed.
Uh-huh.
he does play that song with a loop pedal. So like even that he
Wow.
could have
Yeah.
could have done it like where just he loops it and then he overdubs it.
Yeah, I guess you could go.
And then you would have the full chord too, right? Yeah.
He can. I guess he could, and then afterwards, but it's just not as cool.
Yeah, it would take 30 seconds
Yeah.
to loop and then it come back around.
It kind of does break the flow of the song, right? If you just have those chords right in the
Yeah.
middle before. So
And
it's
then like it, and I heard the ending, and I'm like, what? Like, did you do harmonics in there too? I'm like, God, come on, man! Like, save some, because I think it's a, like that's what he ends that song with. I'm just like, what? Come on, man! It's there's so much good things in one song. Like, what would you do for the other tunes?
Yeah,
What's the rest of the album sound like?
Yeah.
Because if that's like track 1 or whatever, like, jeez. And then he got on that same album is like Third Stream. And I'm like, what is this amazing album that I'm like getting to get to experience right now? It's insane. And Dragon was after Walking Down Rainy Hill, which is my personal favorite Jake album. You know?
yeah.
And after hearing something like Heartbeat, I'm like, it can't get any better than that. Right? Like that's it. That's like the that is the summit. That's the
pinnacle.
epitome. That's a pinnacle of like what ukulele can do. And then Dragon came out, and then he told me that like, okay, well, we had to practice a lot because we did it on tape. It wasn't like digital. It
That
was
is
analog.
crazy.
So like the amount of takes that he could do. Like, because each take is gonna cost him money now,
Yeah.
So it's not like digital where like he can, and it's something super difficult, especially something like Third Stream. He didn't have 100 takes or 100 like fly-ins, we call it, like to just kind of overdub and just make as if it's one continuous thing. No fly-ins, no nothing. It's just like.
Yeah, he just had
It's
to
like
be
a
that
one
good.
Yeah,
when he
one
went into
perfect
the studio.
take. Oh gosh, it's insane. Not saying that all of it is a one take, but it's like one continuous take in order to like lay that down on tape.
Yeah.
Like not much overdubs is what I'm trying to say. So it's crazy. So when you listen to that album again, and he used to say it, or he used to like kind of talk about it when the album was fresh. But yeah, that was done on tape. So it's like he wanted to hear the difference between digital and analog, and it's just like, what, dude? That's pricey. It's pricey AF. Like I can't even imagine like doing something like that.
Yeah, because like editing, like digitally, we call it like splicing or you slice or something.
Yeah.
And that's actually like when they would, at least for film, I know they have like where they roll the tape of the film out and they cut it and then they have to like use actual Scotch tape to put it back together, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, we spliced these two scenes together.
So, and if you do have that album, if you do have that CD or whatever, like listen to some of his earlier stuff. Listen to Walking Down Rain Hill. And then listen to that one and listen to how much warmer like dude, if you have those amazing headphones, Kahai, you're gonna have to listen to Dragon. Because it's recorded on tape. And like hear the difference between Walking Down Rain Hill and Dragon.
I don't know if I have listened to Dragon on that.
Oh, dude.
And Dragon
Yes.
is I think it's my favorite song from him.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
Dragon.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, well, we kind of talked about like few weeks ago, like how I think more young players will think that playing loud is impressive, right?
Yeah.
But there's something about Dragon that is like when he's playing soft, it still is like so
Yeah.
powerful and like
Yeah.
attention grabbing. Like he can play it. He starts off soft, like when he plays it live, right? And nobody will like make a sound. Everybody will be like
Yeah.
keyed in, and he's like,
Yeah, Dragon's got the tapping, and then he's got the like the Van Halen kind of
Yeah.
tapping in the middle of that song. You know, like there's that oh no, it goes. I forgot how to play it. Right? Like he has that tapping part in the middle of it. After the like the melody line kind of like
Yeah.
tapping with the chords and stuff. He has like just pure tapping, and it's just insane. And then he ends it with the just too much talent in one song, you know. And of course, Nolo Kimoto killing it on drums and Dean Tava on bass. It's just insane. I love that album.
that sounds, yeah.
Second favorite album, though. Second favorite album.
If I probably, if I didn't see him like playing it live,
Yeah.
like you said, like, and I heard it, I probably would have been like, okay, but like, how much ukes are you actually
Yeah.
like layering, or like what parts are you doing, right?
Yeah, because I'm the king of uke layering. Like if you listen to just even like my first album and you listen to uke on a stick, that's like 8 ukuleles like, layered on top of each other, you know. And then like I did a track for Craig. I forgot which song it was, but like I did some overdubs, some ukulele layering on that, and then when I did something for Joey Charles, I did some ukulele layering for that. Like
and
I
the
love,
Simpsons intro.
Yeah, and the Simpsons intro, that's like 7, 8 ukes going on at the same time. So I know, and because like my background comes from like high school band, college band, and jazz band and stuff like that. So like I try to think about how to arrange things and how to how to make certain chords happen, like using more than one
Multiple
uke. But Jake's
instruments.
like, I'm not gonna have like 2 or 3 ukuleles live.
Yeah,
so
when he
like
tours.
when I tour, I don't have that kind of. So it's a lot more impressive to hear one ukulele like doing the work of 3. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you do it, when you're writing a song and you have multiple ukes, do you have to like think about like if you do play it live, what parts you're gonna keep for the live version and what parts like maybe you can delegate to Aaron playing on guitar too?
Yeah, so now like we kind of think about, and now we have Kaniho also.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
But that's why like I try to seek out Abe's help to see if we can make that even better, because with Abe, like his knowledge of voicing is way beyond what I can do, you know. So I think we could come up with some crazy like arrangements with the 3 of us and with the 2 of us, you know, like with Abe's help. So I'm looking forward to all that stuff. Yeah, but you know, back in the day, like especially people here on Kauai, because like I've always been kind of known as like a Jake clone, you know, like a lot of people are like, oh, he plays just like Jake. And I guess to those people it's like it comes off as an insult, but to me, because knowing like what he can do, it's like if you're comparing me to that guy, like thank you so much. It's like a compliment. It's not like an insult. I think they try to do it as an insult. They're like, it's just a Jake clone, you know. They're like, if I could get like an iota of that guy's brain, I would be so much better off. But you know, like I don't think you think it's not a diss as you think it is, you know. So even being compared, it was a huge honor.
Thank you. It's like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, I guess so. Yeah.
It's like I'm not in his league.
Yeah.
But like,
If you think so,
yeah, I'll take it.
It's not the dunk that you think it is. You know? Yeah, you're not dunking on me at all. You know that, right? So yeah, it sounds just like Jake. It's like, oh, thank you. It doesn't, but thanks.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
Yeah, dude. Phew. I would love to like just. I think I've always thought of like doing a series where I just like sit down and just like geek out over like ukulele tracks that that I enjoy,
Yeah.
that I listen to and just break down, listen to a whole song and just break down why each part is impressive to me, or what is so cool about each each part.
Yeah.
That's actually like a question I had for you for a podcast.
Yeah.
Is I was gonna say, what are local songs or songs that people don't really know that you feel was crucial or helped you to become who you are,
Yeah.
right? Was influential to you as a musician. So
Oh yeah,
But-
tons. Yeah,
yeah.
I would love to do a breakdown on that. Recently, because I recently watched the John Cruz interview with the Ukulele
yeah, you were
podcast.
telling
yeah.
If you guys are
So that's
critical
live
boys-
now on the.
Oh no, it's a long time ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a while back, and I just haven't gotten to listen to the whole thing. I think I listened to just
Oh.
clips of it and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But I watched the whole thing, and and in the end, he talks about how incredible it is, and and Ernie Cruz. So that got me going to. And you guys know how much I love my rabbit holes that I go in. It took me to a rabbit hole, and it made me realize how good of a guitar player Ernie Cruz actually was.
Yeah.
And it didn't really show because he let Troy shine, But the only original song that Ernie contributed to the Ka'au Critter Boys was On Fire.
Oh.
That's the only one that he wrote, and everything else was covered. All his contributions were covers. So I'm like, okay, well, so he wrote that ukulele instrumental, so in my mind, I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure Troy did that stuff. So I went to go looking for Ernie Cruz playing his style of guitar, and I found a track. Let me see if I can pull it up because you guys should. Oh, I'm this is what I'm currently geeking out over. Yes. go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, I feel like people who grew up or are around our age who grew up and learned to play guitar, they probably styled their playing
Yeah,
after Kyle
yeah.
Crater Boys, right? And Ernie Cruz, and
Yeah,
using your thumb to
definitely.
Yeah.
hit the bass strings and stuff. So it's yeah, you kind of it. I don't know if people really do know how good of a guitar player he is, but playing like that, and then when you hear his songs One Day Soon, it's I don't know if I can play like that.
Yeah. So there's a Slacky album called It's a Slacky World. And there's a track called Ke Aloha, which is Ernie Cruz Jr. and Hapa.
Oh,
And it's I'm like, okay, cool. Does he sing on this? No. Slacky track. And it's just I can maybe hear Ernie Cruz's slacky in that. I don't, because it's not a visual. You don't know who's playing what.
Yeah.
But it's a 2-chord song, 3 chords at most. And it's just okay, what do they do with this 2-3 chord song? And then in the beginning it's all right. And then it just progressively gets more and more amazing. And towards the end, it's what is Barry Flanagan doing? Because you know it's Barry Flanagan, But you can also, but it also makes me think that wait, which part was Ernie? Because all of that was good, you know? It wasn't just the last part that I'm sure Barry Flanagan did. So what was Ernie doing? And all of it is impressive. So it's okay, if he played any of those parts, I'm impressed, with any of that. So Aloha. On an album called This Is Slacky World. I don't know who's out, if it's a Hoppa album or if it's an Ernie Cruz album or if it's a compilation Slacky album. I found it on Spotify and I've been listening to it nonstop in the car because it's I love how it ramps up towards the end and it gets to that weird, because it's C and G7. Think of it that way. And then they start to do so the background guitar player is doing a Slacky thing in just C major, and then the person doing solos is doing stuff. Doing stuff like that. We're just oh, what is happening?
Yeah.
And it just completely took a 180 from this simple 2-3 chord song. So cool. Check it out.
Yeah. I think again, it's not to take away from Troy.
Yeah.
Troy is amazing.
Yeah, of course.
But that is where it's I think a lot of people see Troy playing and then they're oh, that's the virtuosic player of the group. But realizing that it's Ernie plays very intentionally to make space to make sure that Troy shines.
Yeah.
And as you learn music, you kind of realize that as a musician.
Yeah, even John Cruz, because
Yeah.
you just think of John Cruz as this guy, like he wrote like Island Style and like very whatever. But no, like he studied music like in New York and like and he played with like some of the best like blues musicians, like in the world, you know. And
he's a great actor.
He's
as
a
well.
great, it's just like what is
how much talent does this one family have? The Cruz family.
So really, really cool, and it just I don't, Yeah, it's kind of deceiving, like because they're so Cruz. They're like the nicest people too,
Yeah.
Cruz.
Yeah. And their dad is a legend.
Yeah.
Like all Guy
pretty
Cruz,
much every one of the kids.
Man. Okay, so let's do the important things, Kahai.
Okay.
The one important thing that we got to do today.
Yes.
So we made them listen to the whole podcast just so that they can get to this one part. So how many people do we have, Kahai, that did the so we're talking about the songwriting challenge. Well, with the songwriting challenge, if you did it, we're gonna put your name in this, in this wheel. And here are the prizes. Just one mega pack for one amazing songwriter, because they're all amazing, but only one can win this amazing prize pack, including this rare K-Town Heroes CD. So CD for you young folks is short for compact disc. It's a compact disc. It's a physical thing. It's not a Spotify thing where it's just in the cloud. No, this is a physical thing that you can hold, touch, and look. Like in the real plane, the actual plane.
There are liner notes.
Yeah, there's liner notes, and we thank people, and you can see it and stuff.
And it's Ryan plays on it.
Yeah,
he hasn't played in
Ryan
a long time.
Isaki's on it. There's Body Surfing. There's Europa in there. There's Breezing in there.
I think it's funny that we might send it to somebody and they're like, "Yeah, thanks, guys. I don't have a CD player."
Yeah, that's actually very likely.
And then just don't open it and keep keep it as a keepsake and then sell it, for less value later. No, it's fun. It's fun. This is a really rare album that we have very, very, very small quantities of now. And then you got stuff like Taro Mochi that Kahai put in there, the honey lemon fruit that also Kahai put in there, and some Lihing candies, Lihing cherry and Lihing mango. So we're gonna package that up to one lucky winner. What did they have to do, Kahai?
They just had to write a song, and
send it over to us. Yeah. So the song that they write is basically the write a theme song for this podcast. If not, then just write about ukulele, right? Yep. You don't have to write a theme song. We're not forcing people to go do that and stuff. You can just write a song about ukulele, okay? And then and you can win this, for a chance to win this mega prize that we have here. So only one can win it, but let me just tell you, like Kahai showed me all the songs before we got started. You guys are super impressive. I love because we talked about using major 7 chords. They leaned into that super hard. I loved it. And heard some surprising things from some people, like Kristen Sue with the with the backing, the background drum tracks and stuff for the groove. That was really cool, Chris Lanzon, as you guys heard from the intro, coming up with some cool stuff, with Rob. Totally caught me off guard, He said, when he did the have you seen these podcasts? This podcast.
He said he took a cue from you and he based it off of another song. He switched out the words.
That took me off guard. I was like, because he was playing, and then all of a sudden he did the stop, and he's like, "Have you seen this podcast?" I was like, "Oh, amazing!" And of course, we got our talent from everywhere. Trent is and he explained what chord progressions that he used, which is amazing. And then we got people writing for the very first time, like Lori, coming up with something new for the very first time. And we got some cool submissions from people like Brian that and
Jonathan
and Jonathan. Yeah. So really, really, really cool, because everyone did an amazing job. If we had how many people? 7 people?
Yeah.
If you had 7 of these prize pack, I'd send one to each of you, but we don't, because Kahai doesn't get that kind of money. So
yeah.
Well, save money for rubber bands.
For rubber bands.
When I was buying stuff, I was like, I hope at least one person submits a song so I can send it to somebody. But yeah, it's like, I'm glad you guys did this.
Yeah, nice. All right, so Kahai, Spin that wheel. Who gets
Oh yeah. I also wanted to mention that. So we'll send out whoever wins this.
Yeah.
Jonathan?
Jonathan. Hey. Congratulations.
Yep.
What were you gonna say, Kai?
We're gonna send the prize pack out to Jonathan. But if you guys still want to use or still want to submit songs as an intro, or even I didn't think about it, but when Chris and Sue sent their song in, I was like, oh, we'll use it as the waiting song, right?
Yeah.
You guys can do that too, and you send it to questions@ukulele_underground.
Yeah. Let us know if we can use it or not. Like we do want permission from people. They're like, hey, you can use my song, or like, no, don't want anyone hearing my personal, whatever. Whatever. If you're not comfortable with it, then that's cool. But boom, send it over. It just because the contest is over doesn't mean you can't submit stuff. You can still submit stuff, and we loved everything that we heard.
He's in the chat.
Who's that? Jonathan.
Yeah.
Hey, congrats, Jonathan.
Yeah. So I'll send you a message.
Cool. Yeah. So
figure
Kai
out.
will send you a message so that you can claim the.
And he has a CD player.
Oh, nice.
Oh, good.
Perfect.
Oh, thank God.
We totally didn't plan it out and give it to the only person who has a CD player.
Next up is an 8-track up for grabs.
Yeah.
Cassette.
You're gonna have to go on eBay and
Next up is
find one.
our special wax recording.
Yeah.
That only people with phonograms.
Yeah.
The Edison wax player, whatever.
There you go. That's next time we'll find an even more obscure. You know what? Like I'm part of like a Patreon that gives like like gifts to the Patreon to the Patreons, like periodically. If you're signed up for like 3 months, you get, and like one of my favorite podcasts did an 8-track, and I have it at home. Don't have a way to play it, but I love that I have it. It's cool, and like they give you a digital download of what's in there anyway, so you don't have to put it in to listen to it. But just having it is super cool. It's like they wanted to be the first podcast on 8-track, so they recorded a podcast and then recorded an 8-track because they were the first podcast to be put on vinyl, and I have 2 of those. So they did a it's called Tell 'em Steve Dave. Don't look it up. It's not friendly. It's not the friendliest. Not the most PG podcast. It's actually the opposite of that. But they did one where it's like the vinyl cast, they call it. They did 2 vinyl casts, and the second vinyl cast was like a roast of one of the people that's in there. And I don't know. I've always like wanted to suggest doing a roast, but I don't know if my poor ego can handle it. But you know what? To kind of prove that like I am as like Teflon as I say I am, maybe we should figure out how to do a roast. Because I would be down for it, and it'd be fine. I will do a roast only if, because in a roast, the roastee or the roasted like can roast back, right? So if I can, if people can take what I dish out, I would be totally fine with that. Then I'll take anything as long as I can. And it's not just me being a punching bag of people just punching at me, like, for left and right. But if I can have a like 15 minutes at the end of the roast to roast everybody who roasted me, I'm down. Oh, that would be amazing. That'd be super fun. Not PG though, right? Like it'd be even better if I can like, really say things. So, you guys will really see what kind of heel I am. I'm like, this like heel persona I have. Like, we have the best award-winning podcast. And then, I turned that up to 11. That's at 4. That's like that's at me at a nice 4. If you don't want to see me at 11. But that sounds like fun. If that sounds like something fun that you guys would watch, I would be totally down to do something like that. Tune in to doing something like that. Kahai, right? There's some things that Kahai's always wanted to say to my face. I would love to hear it, but I get to roast Kahai back. The end of the show.
But that's like every week. That's not anything new.
It's like, you mean there's things he hasn't said yet?
I wouldn't actually voluntarily sign up for that.
No, you're the greatest, Dad. No.
That would be amazing. I'd do a roast. There hasn't been like an ukulele roast, right? Or has there been an ukulele roast?
I don't know.
Love to do that.
I feel like, but we gotta get like our friends who like know you
Yeah.
and like they
can send in clips and stuff. We have a
Oh,
clip
yeah.
show, and send in clips of them like roasting me, because that's what they did on that podcast. So they did that Vinyl Cast, Vinyl Cast 2. It's like his 40th birthday, and he decided to like. So maybe for my 40th birthday, we'll take a page out of that podcast, and I'll just voluntarily get roasted, but then I get to roast back.
But if we're doing it like for a podcast or something,
Yeah.
I would love to have like our actual friends like
In the
here,
room.
too,
That would be
some of them.
amazing. That would be
Like-
dude, 40th birthday. I'm turning 40 this year.
So it's like Mike, Kyle, Kaniho.
Yeah, all of them just in the room, like just roasted me.
We have
That'd
to
be
fly
fun.
Deechin.
Oh,
Yeah,
Russ.
and Russ. Russ and Deech. I don't know if I can take that. Okay, this has been officially a bad idea.
Never mind.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe not. No. I take it. I take it from those guys. Oh, they're really good though.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Like when you're saying it as like, yeah, I'm sure like we like us here
Yeah.
could like figure out something, but those guys they will like
Yeah. Ooh, really went after my intelligence and my manhood there, everybody.
that was something I didn't think I had a complex about, and you somehow brought it out.
This is gonna take a lot of therapy. No, I think it'll be fun. I'm a good sport, and I do have Teflon skin, so I don't care.
Okay, we'll look at
We'll look into it. Look into it. Maybe for my 40th birthday. Ooh, just have people in the room, and that'll be like my 40th birthday anniversary. It's like yeah.
Yep.
Nice. I would love that.
Okay.
People still talking about dead formats in audio formats in the chat. I was telling Kahai recently. Have you heard of? There's a genre of music called flop rock. Yeah,
Like on floppy disk.
Yeah. So like,
please don't say it's floppy disk.
there are people.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
there are people that craft songs so that it can fit onto floppy disks. So like, but like only one song can fit onto one floppy disk. So they'll sell it in their album in packs of like 6 floppy disks, and there's like one song
That's amazing.
per disc. Yeah, but you have to really compress, and you have to use like certain
How much memory in a floppy disk? Like 56K?
one
meg?
megabyte.
I think at the most is 1 meg.
Yeah, I think it's like
geez.
1.1 or something like that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
And like 1 second of recording now is like over that
Yeah,
already.
2
'Cause-
megabytes.
because we're talking floppy, like the floppy one, not like the hard plastic one, right?
just like the regular hard plastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because I'm thinking floppy disk. You know?
no, but yeah, that's like it's a genre.
Yeah.
Where
Yes, guys, we know about floppy disks, and so we're that old.
Yeah, I know. Like you're talking about the save symbol, right? Like
The save symbol.
Save
yeah,
Save.
yeah.
No. Okay. Before we go, you want to do a couple questions?
Yeah. Hit me.
Ritesh said, "Any plans to visit the Bay Area?"
I did, but that got kind of canceled and stuff. Like
For this year?
for this year, we might push it to next year. I would love to if there's something going on in the Bay Area that you guys would like to to invite us to. I'd be down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
But
Andre
no
said,
plans as of right now.
"Do you have any experience with a bangolele? My idea is to build something like this myself from a defective ukulele."
It's fun. I mean, I've played it. I played a bangolele before, but
Ohana makes one,
Ohana makes a bangolele. I dig it. It's fun, but really, it's a bongo. Like it's
I would.
the lele part is confusing because
It's only
lele
shape.
is to jump. Right? Like it's just bongo lele to have the ukulele shape.
Yeah,
Right. Like
yeah.
that's it. But it's really
I
just
think-
a bongo.
Yeah, if you have something already and you're like thinking
Yeah.
of like, oh, I'll just turn this defective ukulele into something
Yeah.
that's
It's a cool gimmick. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'll go tell people to go out and buy one because like a bongo would probably sound better anyway,
Yeah,
like a purpose-made bongo.
It's
yeah.
only if you like it for the novelty aspect. Of it.
Yeah, more so than
So that's it.
Yeah.
It's like a nice gimmick. It's cool novelty, but
Yeah.
not an ukulele, but fun.
I've used my fluke for that for years.
Yeah.
Just turn it over.
Bongo fluke.
Yeah.
All right, next.
Well, I think that was pretty much it. I'll look for more questions, but yeah.
Yeah, I got time.
Well.
I know we're done for now, but you know, as we've been doing this school, I can kind of understand how much time I have. You know, I got maybe 10 more minutes in me. 10,
Yeah,
15 minutes.
Let me look for it because
Go
the
for
chat
it.
was
Yeah,
frozen.
people are like, oh, I thought you said we can get our cues and you give us O's. Been doing nothing but just getting O's from you.
I
You
know.
gotta get their cues in.
Okay. Yeah.
The chat was sort of like a Q&A with Rob the uke guy today.
Yeah. Oh, really?
So I think a lot of the questions were just directed at
No,
him.
Rob.
But yeah.
Playing the main character in
Yeah.
the chat right now. Rob the MC.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me answer the questions, Rob.
Yeah, because like I think Trent even asked Rob if Rob still gets like stage fright going on stage or anything too, and that's something that we talked about too.
Yeah.
Where, like it doesn't go away, but it gets easier, right? I think that in general. So
Yeah, so the chat is main character Rob.
Yeah.
In the chat. That's a relatively new thing, yeah. Like a term. I mean, not like a new thing or phenomenon, but like it's like a term, like an MC, yeah.
yep.
I'm the MC.
Okay.
Yeah. I think
That's
we're
it.
good.
No questions. Do you have questions, Kahai? I know sometimes you do.
No.
Okay, my last thing that I kind of wanted to bring up, because I listen to a lot of music. I look for a lot of music and stuff, say on Spotify. Still a big fan of music and performance. Because music, and because nowadays, you know, like a lot of musicians want to like promote themselves on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube and stuff like that. And in order to get noticed, you kind of have to play to the algorithm, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a lot of cool music that I've discovered recently, but I've noticed that the cool music that I've discovered is like a certain aesthetic that is cool right now, you know? And I just don't know anymore that like if it's actually, you know, like the artist being creative to create this sound, or if it's influenced by the algorithm then it becomes like that kind of sound. So does the algorithm, does this pleasing the algorithm take away from the actual creativity and brain work of artists, or do you think that that they would have come to that same conclusion anyway?
I think
My question. I think about it because I was listening, and my wife is like, "Oh, this is some some new music that you're listening to." Like, yeah, it's this. You know, they're like, it's a lot of cool new artists kind of doing the same kind of style of music, and that's when I went into that rabbit hole of like, I guess so. You know.
I think there is like a study where they found that since TikTok and with like shorter video formats, songs are less likely to have bridges or breaks, and they're more likely to be under 2 minutes, I think, even.
Excuse me. What kind of strain is that putting onto artists and their creativity, like to have to like write a song based on, you know, on those on those algorithm parameters, right? Because but then again, like, how long has that been happening? Because the songs that they put on the radio have to be, you know, even prior to like algorithm, right?
Yeah.
Has to be written a certain way. But you still have artists that are indie, that is not like radio kind of artists. And
some of the looking at that too, some of the biggest Beatles songs are under like 2 minutes or right around 2 minutes too. So it's kind of just shown that shorter songs are more favorable because people are more likely to listen to the whole song anyways, right?
I guess so.
Like the longer a song is, the more likely they are to stop listening to it. But I don't know, I kind of think it's like probably a mixture of both, you know. It's not like one or the other.
Yeah.
I think artists who are making songs the way they are would have probably made it anyways, but it wouldn't have been amplified maybe if not for the current algorithm now, right?
Because back then it's like you please, like the listeners and the execs and stuff to get noticed and be put on the radio and whatever, but you always have those indie artists that are like anti-radio, right? But that then became the anti-radio, like musicians, artists, became those independent artists that have their own, that they control their own stuff. But those are the artists that try to make it on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, and they're indie, like they control everything. But is it really like,
Now they're
now they're being
please.
influenced by algorithm, so that kind of blurs the line, of like an independent artist with their own brand of music.
You just gotta go more independent and look for artists who only produce music on floppy disks. That's
Bandcamp. Like Bandcamp musicians. Now,
You can
now
only-
those Instagram ones.
You can only find my music on MySpace.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of my concern. I'm just like, I didn't really think of it. Like, how much of this is tailored to, like to fit what I like? Because like that's, they tailored it to kind of fit the algorithm, and that's why Spotify is saying like, hey, you should listen to this artist. That's how we found it. I'm just like, Spotify is telling me like, oh, if you like this, then you'll like this.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there like a self-reinforcing?
Yeah. So and I'm sure now that we did the songwriting challenge and whatever, like, and we kind of set parameters for people to write songs to, but we got like lots of different different ones and different takes on it, which is really cool. But and they're influenced by like, hey, there's a prize, like that's going on. But a lot of them were still creative, right? So how much of creativity are we getting now that's original, and that's like something that like comes from like what they as artists want to put out, versus like how much of that was the original idea, and then like they have to kind of, okay, I have to use this kit, when I record it, because this this kit gets some views, or I have to mix it this certain way because that's what people like. But
Yeah, I don't know if it's that, or if it's just because like music always evolves.
Yeah.
And current artists are always influenced by what was put out prior. So maybe it's just that the evolution is faster now.
maybe
That because there are so many things, right?
It does almost seem like now it's not like, it feels like music changed by decade before. Now it's like even like a sub decade or like 5 years it'll change to like a
because
new
when we talked about Jake kind of showing me that album that he was working on, like there was no algorithm, like nobody told him to like maybe we should record on tape, like it was just him like being a creative guy, like just being creative, because he was then put in a in a position where he can just create like really original ideas, for the ukulele for himself.
Yeah,
Like, he's just putting on, on album what he wants to create. And now, how much of it reflects on his newest albums of like him, like trying to play to the algorithm, and how much of it is original? Because as a Jake fan, right? And with any bands, like you can't, any music or musicians that you like, the later albums are gonna be kind of, you have they're distancing themselves away from like more and more from like the original album, because I like the early stuff. I like the revolutionary things that he came up with. Not saying that the things he's doing now is not revolutionary or creative or anything.
Yeah, because they are, but
because it is.
Yeah.
Because it is. But like, it just doesn't capture me like how it used to,
Yeah.
Like I just being honest, love Jake, love, and I could, and you guys have heard me sing praises about him and his work all the time, but now it's like it just feels like it's trying to get into what's good now, rather than like what was what made it interesting to me,
yeah.
of like he thought like he was the one who set the trend, kind of thing, right? But now it's kind of like it's going so fast that Jake now almost has to like play to the algorithm to make sure that it stays, it stays relevant, stays fresh, stays new now,
Yeah.
rather than like, this is so fresh, it's supposed to, like, this is what's gonna be cool like 2 years from now. Like, that's what it was back then, but now it's like, yes, it's in line with what's cool right now, rather than like setting it,
Yeah. John Mayer did like a talk at Berkeley, and I think he like pointed out something important for like musicians worrying about like creativity and everything is like, but like, what is your definition of success? Because if it's like to get radio play, then you can just write a radio play song. But if you want to write songs that it's like, this is true to what I'm saying or what I'm experiencing, then those songs like might not become like the pop hits that you hope to be. So I think it's like aligning yourself with like, what do I want my music to achieve? And if it's like, if I'm writing this music and it's like really personal to me, but probably not a lot of people are gonna relate to it, then it's like, yeah, that's fine. But if it's like, I want as much people to listen to this song as possible, then it's like, yeah, you'll probably will cater
That's
to
true.
that.
Because like the latest album was Grateful, by Jake Shimabukuro, and it's great in the sense that like personally, these are the people that like that were influential to Jake. Oh my gosh, sorry, it's slow mo. that were influential to him. So like like listening to that like that track with like Henry Capono like sent chills down my spine. It wasn't anything like revolutionary or anything new, but it was like, it was just that like, that fact that like, okay, here's like one legend collaborating with another legend. Like that was really cool. His latest album I did dig, but as a fan of like the earlier albums, I think that's
because it's like even like John Williams, right? Like classical people who are more into classical, they're like, he just copies other like other composers that people don't know about. But then it's like, but I still love John Williams' theme. Like I know that.
Oh,
like,
I watch Superbad. It's like, oh, that John Williams.
But you can't tell me that you play the Home Alone theme and I don't feel something. Right? So music is like so personal that like for somebody who's like, that doesn't mean anything to me. That's just taken from something else.
Imagine,
can mean, like, a lot.
Imagine putting out a new Star Wars trilogy and saying John Williams isn't scoring that. Like, you know what I mean? How much hate would you get?
I don't know. Did he score the latest ones? I think they used his themes, but I don't know if he actively.
I'm pretty sure. Like, I think there would be some lashback on like what John Williams isn't doing. Doing X.
Yeah, because like even like Hans, right? Like I think Ludwig Göransson or how does he like composes a lot of music for big movies now too, and it's exactly the same thing though, right? He was like influenced by all of these movie composers, so that's why he can make stuff that people are like, oh, it sounds so good, and it sounds like John Williams or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like sort of circling back to that. How music is evolving quicker. I think it might just be evolving quicker in like thousands of different subgenres. And so but the cool thing about where we are now in music history is that the fact that you don't need to be like a radio, like you don't need to be on radio in
That's
order
what's cool.
to
It's freeing.
Like you can create your subgroup of people who are interested in what you do, and we can find ways for them to make you still have a living, right? Or like, cause
it's an even playing field for everybody,
or
like, relatively
just more even.
Even.
At least like you can like what you like, and you don't. If you don't want to play into the algorithm, you don't have to, and you can find your little cohort, your little group of people who appreciate what you do, and they'll pay you directly instead of going through like the radio channels and everything. Like you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Like you have the option to opt out.
I haven't been in school for over 10 years, and I'm sure there is still some of this, but I kind of feel like now it's like you aren't like made fun of for like liking a type of music, right? Because it's like everybody just picks whatever they want.
Yeah,
you don't have to like subscribe to the most popular now.
Interesting talk. No, I just thought of it because I'm just like, how much of it is like is the original creative idea from the from the person who wrote it, and how much of it was influenced from like of like, well, I gotta make this kind of beat or this kind of chords and these kind of whatever. It has to have this, or else like no one's gonna find it interesting. Like how much of that is happening?
It's sort of like I read an essay by well, I think it was in one of the Chuck Klosterman books.
Okay.
Where he talks about the real world. Like the real world was like the very first reality show like that was a hit on TV.
Yeah.
And so real world, like the first season, they had people come on and then they just got whoever they got. And they ended up falling into like stereotypes of people. But then
but
for
they didn't
the
know
second,
what was gonna
because they didn't know what the show was gonna be.
Yeah.
And then in the second season, all the people who applied to be on the real world were stereotypes of like those
the first season people.
So it's like sort of a self-reinforcing loop where it's like the only people who want to be on the real world are people that would be like those characters.
See, this is what we talk. If nobody asks us questions, like this is the kind of stuff that we talk about. This is what the podcast would be without the ukulele. If people aren't asking us what strings we use, we're gonna dive into these kind of deep conversations about music and creativity. Sorry, everybody. I know you could have tuned out. It's fine. We're way past the hour. So
I like how we went to like, let's just teach them like exactly what to do without talking about any of the extra.
That's right.
Just talking about
all the extras.
All the extras. All right, gang. Thank you so much for tuning in to and no April Fools today. Nope. Today's April Fool's Day, but we have no April Fool's joke. Not a joke. Life's not a joke, everybody.
But a song is coming out, right?
Song came out today.
I didn't put it up yet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's on its way.
Yeah.
Maybe tonight.
Okay.
We'll see when
song is coming out. So it's not like April Fool's. There's no song this month, or there is a song coming out this month. It's a country song.
Yeah.
Country classic country song, right? That we ruined. Ruined it. Great. Ruined it real good, everybody.
Get it done.
We got it done. We ruined it real good.
But it's like it is.
It's your favorite Filipino boys doing that country twang, classic country music.
It is that like, but it's that emo, right? Where it's like, I'm only this way because of you, Dad. I only sing country like this because of all the Hawaiian musicians who sing country music.
Yeah, so country music played by your favorite Asian kids.
Yep.
Authentic cowboy or country music done by your favorite.
We've
Asian
seen horses.
It's like Mr. Huynh, but if Mr. Huynh was terrible. It's the simple things.
Seen horses, rode in trucks. Yep.
Yeah. See, I had to get one
90s.
Nicktoon reference in there. I have to say Nicktoon now because Nickelodeon's under some fire. So I have to say Nicktoon. We're like, we're not talking about we're not talking about that stuff. Although that's got its own thing. But you know what? All good. We'll see you folks on Friday for our Aloha Friday Live Jam. Check out ukuleleunderground.com to learn a thing or two about the ukulele. Check out the brand new lesson that's coming out pretty soon. Okay, sign up for UU Plus to take your ukulele playing to that next level. And also, make sure you check out shop.ukuleleunderground.com to buy some cool Ukulele Underground swag and represent. You know, if you're going to a club and stuff, you're like, I got this lemon oil from shop.ukuleleunderground.com, or this weirdly specific like 3XL shirt that we have, whatever sizes of shirts we have left. You know, you're like, why does that shirt look like it doesn't fit you? It's like, it's all they had. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, also, there's a new shirt on your site.
Oh, there's a new shirt on my site. There's a new shirt on my site for the people who are like, I don't want to wear black. Or, so we have a white shirt that's available on Aldrine.com. Aldrine.com, we have a couple of shirts there. The Aldi Club shirt is available. That's in black if you guys like black. And the Robot Love Song Robots tee, like pocket tee with the heart on it. So if you're like, I don't even get Aldi Club, like what's going on with that? Boom. Ukulele Robot Love. Okay, there's an ukulele in there. Yeah, there's a robot playing it, and there's a heart and stuff. It's nice. It's it's rainbows compared to like Aldi Club, which is just a little harsh,
Yeah.
So if you guys want a white shirt, Ukulele Robot Love available on Aldrine.com, and also for those of you real ones, Aldi Club.
Yeah.
Well, before we go,
Yeah.
Thursday we also have the open mic.
Oh, Thursday, open mic Thursday. That is at 12 p.m. 12, brand new time, 12 p.m. for the open mic. Bring your A game. Okay, so we wanna hear some awesome stuff from our awesome audience. So that's 12 p.m. Just log on to ukuleleunderground.com. Just log on to ukuleleunderground.com. You'll see the link to join our Zoom room to do the Ukulele Underground open mic. We'll see you next time. We'll see you then, Thursday and Friday. Aloha, everybody.